In this video, we will discuss about the multi-session OS and single session OS, and also we will be deploying the multi-session operating system and single session operating system. Before that, let's go through the machine catalogs and delivery controllers again. So what the machine catalogs are the collection of virtual machines or physical machines that you manage as a single entity. In machine catalogs, what we do is we create multiple machines or single machine to deliver it to the users. So the machines can be either Windows Server operating system or Windows 7, Windows 8. So the machines will be used to deliver desktops or applications to the end users. So basically in the machine catalogs we will have all the machines that we will be delivering to the users. Now in the delivery groups we will create different kinds of delivery groups for different types of users. If we have IT users, then we will create a IT delivery group which will be used to deliver only the desktops that IT will be using. So this is a simple diagram of the machine catalogs and delivery groups. So as you can see, we have three machines created in the machine catalog. One is Windows 10, one is Windows 11, and one is Windows Server 2012. And now we have a delivery group here. Let's say this delivery group has 10 users, and those 10 users needs access to all the machines we have, machine Windows 10, Windows 11, and Windows Server 2012. So we will create a delivery group. Let's say it's a HR group. We will create a HR group. We will add all 10 users to that group on the Active Directory domain controller, and then that HR group we will assign into this delivery group, and the HR group will have access to all these three machines. So the Windows 10 and Windows 11, just keep in mind, it will be a single session OS, and Windows Server will be a multiple session OS. And then let's say we have another delivery group, let's say accounting, and accounting only needs access to Windows Server 2012 catalog. So we will create a accounting group, assign it to the second delivery group, and then that delivery group will only have access to the Windows Server 2012. So the delivery group, this is how we create the sessions. One is multi-session and one is single session OS. So as you can see here, this is Windows 10 and Windows 11 will be single session OS because each user can use one machine at one time. Two users cannot be able to access this machine because this is just a single session OS. If one session is already running, the second session cannot be established. But the Windows Server OS is a multi-session OS. So let's say we have three users who needs to access these applications. They will be able to access these applications simultaneously because this is a multi-session OS, and also you can create desktops on the Windows Server and multiple users will be able to access it. Now let's create machine catalogs. Here you can see on my ESXi1 I have a delivery controller running, and let's open it, a new tab, sign in. So open up Citrix Studio. Now we have an option to create a machine catalog. Now if we go to our ESXi2, we have two machines running here. The first one is Windows 10. We will use this master image to create Windows 10 virtual machines, and this is a server machine, and we will use this to desktops and applications both. So if you go to this server OS, let's sign in. You can see I have a couple of applications installed on it, like Access, Microsoft Office applications, and some other applications as well, and we will be delivering these applications to the different users. Let's go to the machine catalog and create a new machine catalog. So click on next, and here is the option to create multi-session OS and single session OS. Let's create a single session OS first. Click on next, and we will use the virtual machine. Click on next, and here you can see that we have two options. The first one is I want users to connect to a new random desktop each time they log in. So that depend upon your requirements of your organization's requirement. And what that means is it will, each time the user logs in, he will have a different desktop each time. And the second option is to give a static desktop. So if we have 5 users, we need 5 desktops, and all the 5 desktops will be assigned to specific users, and they will keep their desktops. So it depends on the organization's policies, what exactly you need. And here in the second, we can see if we choose the static, we have two options again. Create a dedicated virtual machine and save changes on the local disk. And the second option is discard all the changes when the user logs off. So basically kind of the second option is also a random desktop, but it's with the static desktop. The user will have one desktop signed, but whenever they log off, the data will be cleared and they will get connect to the same desktop next time, but nothing will be there, no data. So in our case, we will create a random desktop. Click on next. Now it's asking which master image we want to use. So we will be using Windows 10. Click on next. How many machines we want to create? Let's create 2. And how much RAM? Just 4 gig because we are low on resources. Click on next. Where you want these machines to go? We already have a Citrix OU created. We will select that and click on computers. And how you want to name these machines? Let's say we want to assign this group to IT users. We will say IT dash pound pound. So pound means the what number you want to assign to the machine. So it's going to increment as the machines are as the machine you are adding the machines. Next. Now you can type in the machine catalog name. We will say Windows 10 for IT admins. Click on finish, and when you hit finish, it will start creating a new virtual machine. If you go here, you will see that the machine is getting created and it will take some time. Okay, as you can see, the Windows 10 machine catalog is created. Now we will create another machine catalog, and this time it will be a multi-session OS. Click on next, keep it default, and this time we will use the our server operating system. Click on next, and we will give it 4 GB RAM. We will only create one machine, and we will put it in Citrix computers, and here we will name server dash on. Click on next, and Windows Server 2016 will say for IT admins. Click on finish, and again it will take a couple of minutes. And if you go here, you can see the server is being created. You can see here these are the single session OS operating systems already created, 2 of them. If you want, you can power them on, but let's shut down the master image because we don't need that anymore and it's just our resources. And let's power on both these machines and wait for the server to get created. Okay, so the multi-session OS is also created. If you go to our ESXi2, you can see that the server 01 is created. We can also shut down the master image as it will just use our resources, and we can power it on. Now go back to your machine catalog. Now we will create our delivery groups. So right click on the delivery group and create a delivery group. Click on next. Now first we will create a delivery group for the users to access the Windows 10 desktop. And as you can see, we have 2 machines in this catalog, in the Windows 10 catalog, so we can choose how many machines we want to deliver to the users. let's say 2 because we already have 2. If you want just one machine to be delivered, you can select 1 as well. Click on next, and we will restrict these users to, let's say, Citrix admins. Click on next, and here it's asking for applications, but we are not delivering applications for the machine 10, Windows 10 catalog. We will be delivering desktop, so just say next, and in the desktop you can display the name for IT admin, and we will restrict desktop to be delivered to only our Citrix admins. Click on OK, click on next, and this will be the delivery group name. Again, we can say Windows 10 for IT admins. Finish. So now the delivery group is created. For single session OS, we will create another delivery for server as well. So we only have one machine, so we will keep it default. Click on next, and we will again restrict this delivery group to only Citrix admins. Leave it default. Next, and this time we will deliver both because this is a multi-session OS. So we can say from start menu or application group, but we don't have any application group, so we will just say from start menu. It will search for all the applications installed on this server 1 machine. So we will give access to, let's say, calculator. On OK, next, and we will also assign the desktop it to Citrix admin. You can add more groups if you want, but we will only select Citrix admins for now. Now name the delivery group server 2016 for IT admins. Click on finish. Now we have two delivery groups created. One is multi-session OS and one is single session OS. Now you can open up the Storefront URL and sign in with your credentials. Make sure this user is a part of the Citrix admin group that we assigned the access to the delivery group. Let's log in. Once you log in the desktop, you can see I have two desktops available. One is Windows 10 and one is Windows Server 2016. If you go to the apps, you can see I have one app available. If you want to add more applications, then you can go here back to the delivery group and go to your applications and then add applications and click on next. Here it's asking which delivery group you wanna give access to these applications, so we will say Windows Server 2016. Click on next, and here you can add applications from the start menu again, and this time we will say Excel and Microsoft Word. Click on OK, click on next and finish. Now go back to your Citrix workplace and click on refresh. Go to apps. As you can see, we have 3 applications available now, Word and Excel as well. When you click on the Word, it will launch the Citrix workspace and open up the Microsoft Word application. As you can see, it's open now. And in the desktops, we have 2 desktops again. You can open up Windows 10 as well, but remember Windows 10 is a single session based operating system. Only one user can have access to it. Let's open up a new private tab and try to access that again. This time we will sign in as the other user, Citrix 2. And if you go to the desktops, you can see we have both the desktops, but if you click on Windows 10, the user is still able to access. You know the reason? Because we have 2 desktops available in the machine catalog. Remember, we assigned 2 Windows desktops. Here you can see 2. That's why the user is able to access. Now let's open up another private window on Chrome and try to access it there. Now let's sign in as another user. Go to desktop, click on Windows 10. You can see that cannot start desktop because we don't have enough desktops available for the third user, because the 2 desktops are already being used by Citrix 1 and Citrix 2 users. So that's how the single session desktop works. But if you go here on the Windows server, let's close the other desktops first. Now let's open up the Windows server and the user is Citrix 1. Now let's go back to our different account. This is home admin. Click on desktop, Windows server, open. Second user is also signed in home admin, and you can see both the desktops are running simultaneously. So that's how the multi-session OS works. You can go to the search as well and see how many sessions are running. The sessions, you can see the Citrix sessions are running, and there is another one on the Windows Server 2016 session is also running. If you want, you can log off all these users. So all the sessions are logged out. It will log off and log back in again. Go to desktops and let's click on Windows Server. You can see the session is open. Go back to your delivery controller in the sessions. You can see the session is running. If you want, you can right click and send a message to a user that if you wanna do any system updates or something, you can just send them the message. Your system will log off 1 minute. Click on you can choose the severity level, click on OK, and here you can see the message is there. So now the user can save their work and you can log them off. So that's how the single session OS and multi-session OS works. Another thing I wanted to show you, when you sign into your storefront, it takes you automatically to the home page. But what if we want to select by default to the desktop or applications page? You can configure the storefront as well. So we will open up the storefront, sign in, we open, that's the store, and click on manage receiver for website, configure, and here you can change different settings for the storefront. If you go to the customize appearance, you can upload the logo, and the logo will show up on the main screen, and you can configure as per your requirements. And if you go to the workspace app, you can click on deployment option, install locally, use receiver for HTML5. So if you want the users to use HTML5, you can do that as well. In case if the user does not have a workspace app installed, they can use the receiver 5 also. We can choose this option if the receiver workspace app is not available. User can use the receiver 5 HTML5, or you can use receiver for HTML5 always, but we will do install locally. And where the users will install the file from, you can say Citrix website, but I would say local files from the storefront server. I have the Citrix workspace app downloaded in the downloads folder. I want all the users to download the file from the storefront server, not from the website. The reason is because I don't want users to have a different version of Citrix workspace running on their systems. I want all the workspace apps to be the same version. And you can say log off action. When the user clicks on the log off, what it's gonna do, it's gonna disconnect or terminate. So here you can change all the settings, and you see that if you want the user to auto launch the desktop, let's say you only have one desktop, not multiple desktops. In that case, if the user signs in the storefront, the desktop will be automatically launched. But if there are two desktops, it will not automatically launch. And in the view, you can see that I have selected show both views. But if you want, you can change it to desktop view only if the user does not have any applications assigned, or if user does not have any desktop assigned, you can to show applications only. But in our case, we have both the views, so we will click on auto. But if you want the default to desktops, you can do that as well, and click on apply. Now when the user logs off and logs back in, as you can see, it automatically took it to the desktop window, not to the apps. You can also make it favorite, and then all the favorites will be shown on the home screen. So that's how you configure the storefront as well. Yeah, so that's all for the deployment of single session and multi-session OS, and how you can configure the storefront. And there are policies section as well. You can assign different policies for to different delivery groups. I have a video linked in the description where you can go and see what the policies. Thank you.